Welcome back to another episode of the CP and Unc Show. I'm your host, CP. That's Unc. And today, we actually have a special guest that's going to be on camera today. Got my little cousin, Sam. You know what I'm saying? We just going to interview him, just ask him a few questions. He's going to be here for today's episode.
It's not an interview, man. It's just sitting down. We don't do an interview.
Conversation. You know what I'm saying? Conversation within family. You feel me? So, how you feeling today, bro?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Straight?
Pretty good, yeah.
All right, so you got let them know how old you are, what school you go to, and all that.
We ain't gotta do all that.
Let them know how old you are, what school you go to.
Man.
No, it's not. But they still need to know who you are and what school you go
You
to.
said his name. Tell me your school you go to.
I go to High Point University.
High Point. Okay.
What that's it?
North Carolina.
Make it seem like we not prepared before we start. Anyway, so I can introduce him in a deeper level. I was here with him since he came out the womb. Okay. So I helped him train. So if he ever gets to the NBA, when you get to the NBA, I need my cut. Don't play with me. So
It be your own family.
it be your own family. So what position you say you play the best on the court?
I play point guard the best on the court.
Play point guard. Okay. You start.
No. I'm a
Okay.
big player.
Okay. So what high school you went to again?
Roxborough High School.
Roxborough.
Oh, Roxborough. What y'all do there? Y'all want something?
No, we don't win nothing. We made it to the state playoffs, but lost the first round, which sucks. But
I mean, it's better than nothing losing to in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Rather losing the playoffs and not go to the playoffs.
So going from high school to college is of course a big jump, not only on the court but off the court. So we'll just start with on the court. Like, what do you feel like is the biggest difference between like high school basketball and college basketball from what you played?
I'll say the biggest difference for me is basketball is mental. Going into high school, it was easy. You take the open shot. If you want to play a one-on-one game, you can play a one-on-one game. College, it's all about plays, being organized. You got to get yourself open. You got to know how to position yourself to get the ball. So I say the biggest difference is just mentally, playing mental.
See, you know what? Like what he said, mental. And when we be at LA Fitness and these young guys, they got all the athleticism. They want to dribble for 40 seconds, score the basket. I mean, they got $1 million moves and 50-cent finishes.
Yeah.
But we tell them all the time, y'all don't think the game. That's why the OAs will always beat y'all, especially the OAs that played it, but they could think the game. That's why LeBron is so ahead of the curve in the NBA level, because he see the game change or whatever the case may be before it even happens. But as far as, since I guess y'all not having no season yet due to the pandemic, how have y'all been, transitioning? Like, are y'all practicing? Are y'all having team meetings just to trying to build a chemistry before y'all get on the court? Because that's important.
Yeah, we've been having a lot of team meetings every day.
Okay.
We still practice 5 a.m. We work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Then Tuesday and Thursday we go to the court and play 3:30 to 5:30. So we still got some practices in, and we got a lot of team meetings.
That's what's up. So y'all are building that chemistry just so when any seniors or juniors want to take underneath the wing. Because in college it's tricky. Seniors and juniors, that's on the team, they want their shine.
Yeah.
And not too many of them are willing to take freshmen under the wing just to teach them the game and what they know about playbook, reading a playbook or knowing a playbook, how to train, how to eat, stuff like that. Because, players envy each other. It's sad, but it happens. So anybody, like, you got close to that's, like, been here for a couple of years that's, like, on their way out?
Yeah, I got this one guy. His name is Jamal Wright. He's from Georgia, and he's been like a great point guard for High Point University for like 2 years now. And so he's just been taking me under his wing, telling me what to do, what not to do. We actually been working out on days that we don't actually practice. So he's been a really helpful to me.
He gonna make it. You practicing when you ain't got practice. You dedicated to your craft. You believe in yourself. them days you practicing, even when you don't want to practice on your off days, that's what makes you. That's the difference between being great and being good. You can tell in the NBA today who really wanted to be great and who didn't, because they practiced when they should have been resting. Even though rest is a very big part of taking care of yourself physically and mentally, but the hell with it. If you want to be great at your craft, whatever that craft may be, it may not just be with sports. Whatever your craft is, whatever you're trying to perfect in your life, you got to deal with it and work towards it during your off time.
Yeah.
That's why most of us don't sleep at night. But so.
And speaking of the physical, I know I was speaking to another young bull of mine who is a friend of the potty, who will be on here soon as well, Mike. One of the things that he said, one of his transition, hardest things that he had to go through from transitioning from high school to college is he didn't understand the importance of how keeping his body up to shape, in shape was important. So like now that
Sure is.
now trust me, y'all see me. But
2022.
so now that you're in college, like do you see how important keeping in shape is? Because I know it's a totally different game.
Mm-hmm. It's very important. I wish I would have ran more. My cardio stinks. Like the coach even tells me my cardio stinks. Like I run up and down the court 4 times and then I'm done. So for me, it's like I really need to start working on my cardio and running more and stuff like that.
Okay.
Well, everybody can't be John Wall, De'Aaron Fox, or Russell Westbrook.
Man, so for the people, who haven't, gotten the chance to see you play, who would you say that your game resembles the most?
Sorry to say, man.
I would say Rondo because the reason for that is because I like to see the best play. He sees the best play. He makes the right pass. Mm-hmm. If he has to score, he scores the ball. So I'll say I'll probably play more like a Rondo.
That's a very good.
That's a good comparison because you see a lot of that's how you know that you are starting to look at the game in a mental type of way, because a lot of players will see the game or they'll see basketball players and they'll be like, oh, I want to be like Damian Lillard because I want to shoot real far, or oh, I want to be like this player or that player. But you're matching your actual skills that you have now to an NBA player who's not a bad NBA player, a champion. So that's good. That's what's up. But I want to tell you personally, I'm proud of you. I see your growth. From the basketball conversation that we had before until the conversation that we have now, I could tell that this college experience is really making you better. Not just on the court, but as you grow up. And I definitely see it, and I'm definitely proud, and I definitely can't wait to see what you do next season for sure. I'm definitely gonna keep it watching, but we're gonna jump from.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Oh, we got a question. Hold on.
You know the conversation we had before you.
Hold on.
So we don't even gotta do that on here because you know how I feel. You know what it is. But what I do want to tell you is going into, because the NCAA is giving players an extra year due to the pandemic. Don't let that advantage slip through your hands. Because I think in a few years they'll probably just start having high school players maybe be able to enter the draft or just go to the G League, whatever the case may be, like they're doing now.
That's a good question. How do you feel about that?
About what?
Players going straight
to the G League instead of college.
Like, how do you feel? Do you feel like, because I know every player or every person is different, but like, how do you feel about players coming from high school to NBA when you can clearly see that they're ready to take that jump? Do you feel as though like college is important for every player to go through for their development or whatever, or do you feel like going into the NBA and helping their family and all that, do you feel like that's more important? Like, how do you feel about that?
I feel like college is more important. The reason for that is because you get to grow more. Coming from high school, you're not as strong. You kind of don't know the game at a college level. So when you go to college, you kind of grow more and you go more into like a superstar. Also, it's important to go to college just in case you don't make it to the NBA, you gotta have a backup plan.
Yes, sir.
So those are the 2 biggest reasons why I think college is really important for you to go to.
Student athletes, what I tell all my little bros that play sports, student athlete. And I actually learned it from one of the coaches back at a school I graduated from.
I like to kind of like be the antagonist. I'm gonna disagree with you. I'm gonna tell you why. because don't get me wrong, I feel like school's important, but for some people, for example, right, we had a situation with Ben Simmons. I don't know if everybody knew the situation with Ben, but Ben knew he was going to make the NBA when he was 16. So he went his 4 years of high school, then he went to college. And if a lot of people might not know, you just need to have a C average in your classes, and then you'll be fine. Ben went to school from September to December, and he didn't go for the rest of the year. He was just working on his game, practicing and everything like that. That's why he wasn't eligible for a lot of the different Player of the Year awards, because his academics wasn't great. So I feel like in certain situations, I feel like if Kobe or LeBron, they're going to make the NBA. So they just here only because the NBA is making them come here. But I feel like certain players, having that, like you were saying, having that backup plan, that's so important. But I feel like some people are special cases. So for me, if I'm the NCAA or if I'm the NBA, whoever make the rules, I would do it like this. I would say if you can come to the NBA if you want to, you might not get picked. So like how they do now, they keep your eligibility alive. So if you go to the NBA draft and you don't get drafted, you can still go back to school. So I would do it. I would keep it like that, and I would tell them if you're going to go to school, you have to spend at least 2 years in college.
That's not bad.
Because when you go to college, college is a different game. It's not just getting up and hooping and then going home. You got to deal with everything from what's going on home, because a lot of times you're not home. You got to deal with everything that comes along with just being an athlete in general. So I feel like for me, I would like to see that rule get changed, because we are penalizing kids that should be in the NBA. They should be getting better at their craft. It shouldn't take them a whole year being in school.
That's could agree, but it's at the end of the day, it's a business, so they're gonna do what they gotta do to get that money.
They're gonna get paid regardless.
True, but not if if the top players at these programs that generate the most money at the Dukes, the Kentuckys, the Michigan State, Arizona, if their top players only gonna be there from August to up until mid-December before Christmas, when the semester is over with, then they gotta basically start out over. Because 9 times out of 10, a lot of people only watching college basketball for certain players on certain programs anyway. And not all these schools have them top tier players. And that's one of the issues I have with college players is, why do y'all all want to go to the Kentuckys, the Dukes, these schools for a fact you're going to get looked at from the league, you're going to get drafted regardless. But from a competition standpoint, with Duke last year, and they had Zion and all them, yeah, they lost, but that don't happen every year when the top talented teams lose early in the tournament. It's boring. College basketball to me, at times, it's exciting. I hate the fact that all the coaches just teach them how to play zone defense. I hate that with a passion, because you don't play zone defense in the NBA, honestly. There's a lot of one-on-one basketball for the most part. Unless you're the Sixers and Miami Heat, they're going to play you in the zone because they know you really can't shoot. But that's going to change now because they bring in some shooters. But other than that, in Milwaukee, in the playoffs, you put your best on-ball defender on Giannis, meet him half court. Then you got two teammates behind you to help you out, sagging off non-liable shooters like the Eric Bledsoes of the world and others that was on that team. And you build a wall so he can't get to the rim because he can't shoot. But colleges, these programs teach these kids how to play on-ball defense, man-to-man defense. Seriously, man, I feel like the defensive style in the game today is so boring. It's not much defense being played as it is because there's so much spacing and stuff like that because the three-point shooting is so important now. But still, it's not teaching that zone defense because they don't play that on pro level.
And you could speak to this. You could probably speak to this better than I can because I didn't play college ball. But I feel like to answer your suggestion, I feel like the NCAA need to make it more attractive to go to school. I don't want to give up my image and my likeness for free, while this school is making millions off of me.
Yeah.
And all I get is hopefully drafted. That's only if I'm doing it the right way. Because then you got other players that might be bigger and better than me. They getting paid under the table.
True.
So it's like the rules don't benefit everybody. So it's like, even if I do go, the reason why I might go to a Kentucky, because I know Sam going to a Kentucky, because I know he got all the light on him. So I might as well go there and they'll look at me too.
True.
It's like the NCAA is not beneficial for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's why I said, like, it should be options.
That's true.
Like, that's why it really should be options.
Think about this. If you believe in yourself so much and you put in that extra work like Sam and his teammate does when they're going to have scheduled practices, what's stopping you from going to a school that plays the Kentuckys, the Dukes, and the other big known programs and you getting yours?
But I don't want to lose either.
At the end of the day, you're going to. It's the same thing with in the NBA with Devin Booker. We all know he's a star.
Exactly.
He's losing.
But that's something totally different.
That's
their profession.
That's true.
They get paid.
Okay, but your profession, being a student athlete,
That's not his profession though.
At that time for those 4 years.
It can't be a profession if you don't get paid. That's the point.
Agreed, but I'm saying it is your profession because you're doing something so you can get paid in the long run.
That's not.
You still working. You working for free, but at the end of the day,
makes it not a profession.
But you can't look at it like you working for free because honestly, if you don't practice, you don't play these games, then you're probably never ever gonna go and see that big NBA contract that you believe you deserve.
That's not true.
Go to the college.
Because Brandon Jennings went overseas, got drafted. RJ Hampton,
but
LaMelo.
Oh, but them you just named 3 people out of 1,000,001.
How many people get drafted from overseas? The point I'm trying to make is, if I'm good, and I see y'all two, y'all number 1 and number 2 in my class, and I'm number 3. Y'all going to wherever, Duke. I could go to Temple and shine, but we're not gonna win. I'm gonna get 50 and we're not gonna win.
I want my own team, but I want to know. I want the world to know when I'm playing them other schools that I done got my buckets. I defended the best player, made it tough on them. You have no choice but to talk about me for the rest of the league. Yes, me and my team lost. I did what I could for us team to win, but as y'all know, it's me and the team. That's it. That's not all on me, but y'all seen I'm better than the best player on Kentucky. I'm better than the best player on Duke. I'm better than the best player on Arizona, Michigan State.
That's true.
I'm making it known that I'm the best player in the country.
That's true. So my question would be to you is, and we're gonna get back to you, Sam. We didn't forget about you. But my question would be to you, okay, what is more important? And I think you can answer that too. Is like when you in your recruitment process and you see guys that's in your class that you might think you better than, that you could win a championship with.
If you thinking you better than somebody, then you already lost. You supposed to know that you know for a fact. Like that
okay,
was a
cool.
play
If you know you better than somebody, you know you better than somebody. But you see that these dudes are teaming up because y'all only gonna be there for a year.
Yeah.
So if I know I'm only gonna be here for a year, then I want to win a championship. Because I could easily be Ja Morant, and I could cook on the corny team. I could be the number 2 pick. But guess what? Look how long his road was, and he still didn't taste a championship. Where you got Zion, who joined the team with the 2nd and 3rd best player in his class, and he was the 1st best. He was the best, and they ended up. Yeah, they didn't win a championship, but they got everything you could think of as far as publicity, everything you could think of as far as being a college superstar.
But and
they won.
You made my point with
John
Morant at Murray State. He put that school on the map. They had
what map? Nobody's there after that.
You wasn't. Did you? How many people really thought anything about Murray State coming into next year? It was all about Zion and Duke.
Yeah.
Ja Morant. I'm snapping. I'm arguably the best player in the country. Y'all got to pay attention now. Not just me, but my school's getting publicity. Which changes the outcome on the program right now. We could go to Murray State and do some things. You got the publicity. John Morant got the publicity and went number 2 in the draft.
Everybody's not a John Morant.
Everybody's not going to be a Zion.
But he went to a school where you're going to get
Zion was getting drafted. He could have went to Central Penn. He was getting drafted. It don't even matter.
Exactly. That's my point. All I'm saying is, man, the college process for me, for athletes, I feel like it's
It's not in their favor. It's not going to be in their favor for a very long time. That's just what it is.
Do you think they should get paid?
No.
Why is that?
Because I feel like they're already getting paid by the scholarship. They already have a scholarship. They don't have to pay for books. They don't have to pay for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They'll come in just to play basketball. So they don't need to get paid.
Yeah, most of them ain't doing their own work anyway.
So what if like we was just saying Zion walking into Duke Stadium and he see everybody with a number 1 jersey on, but he don't get a dime from none of themselves. So do you feel like that's right because he's getting scholarship?
I mean, I sort of do feel like it's right, and then I sort of do feel like it's wrong at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, they are getting a scholarship. Like, college is a lot of money. My college is $65,000. So you're getting an athletic scholarship for free. A lot of people want to go to college for free. At the same time, you are wearing their jerseys, which is all marketing. You're marketing the player and stuff like that. So it's just like I do feel like it's right, and then sometimes I do feel like they should get paid sometimes.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Like I said, I feel like any service that anybody do, they should get paid for. And especially if I'm making money off of you, like your face is on this ticket, but you're not getting no type of money from us.
Don't say that to Cheesy West. Cut Cheesy West a check.
Listen, Cheesy West doing this out the kindness of his heart. That's different.
But he doing the service. Just saying
But that's
doing the
different.
service.
We should pay him. If he come to us and be like, yo, I need to get paid.
Bro,
you think I'm gonna be like, oh no, we can't pay him?
Nah, we ain't gonna be
We
like
gonna
that.
pay him.
We gonna figure out some type
We gonna
of
pay him.
We're not paying to
But since we know he doing this out the kindness of his heart, we not gonna bring it up. So yeah, we go, man. This is gonna be a good show, man. We had to start it off with Youngin, but we just gonna get into a couple sports topics throughout the week that was pretty big. I think we should save those rankings for last because I might go on a rant, which is so disrespectful.
So it wasn't much. Well, I guess we can talk about if Harden fits with the Sixers.
Let's talk about that. So over the week, we had some news that 2 weeks ago, James Harden put the Sixers onto his list of teams that he would like to get traded to.
This week was the Bucks and the Heat.
He added the Bucks and the Heat,
which I'm surprised about that Bucks pick,
as the 2 teams that he would like to get traded to. So, how do y'all feel about? Well, let's get this straight. I don't believe he'll fit on the Heat.
No,
just because of the culture.
Yeah.
The basketball player, James Harden. If you don't want James Harden on your team, you're crazy.
He'll be at King of Diamonds. Jimmy Butler will be going to practice at 2 a.m. It's 4 in the morning. Yeah,
that's a bad fit. So how you feel about James Harden being on the Heat?
Yeah, I don't think it's a good fit either. Yeah. I just don't think it's a good team for him.
Sixers pick for me. Let's just give a history here. He asked for Dwight Howard, it didn't work. He asked for Chris Paul, it didn't work. Well, it worked well enough to have a 3-2 lead on Golden State, and then Chris Paul hamstring. Some think they would have won if Chris Paul didn't get hurt. I disagree because Kevin Durant is 7 foot. They had no answer for him at all. He asked for Westbrook. It looked like it was working, but then they trade Clint Capella. They play small ball. They get smacked in the playoffs by the Lakers. Whatever. He goes to, if he gets traded to the Sixers, a person like Harden who needs the ball in his hands, I don't see how it makes sense to fit him with Joel Embiid, because Joel Embiid needs the ball in his hand. I don't see how it fits if they trade Embiid for Harden and it's him and Ben. Ben can't shoot. Harden doesn't play too well off the ball because he needs the ball, and Ben needs the ball in his hand. He needs to be surrounded with people that can shoot. So I don't see Brooklyn. I hope it happens so they could trade everything for him and they could be over the cap. And I don't see how they're gonna fill in the bench. I don't see how it works there because if they keep Kyrie or not in the James Harden deal, you have 3 people that need the ball 99% of the time, but other than Kevin Durant who can catch and shoot. But at times, me being the best player on the team, I'm going to need the ball in my hand to make something happen. So honestly, man, Houston, you do not gotta trade him. Let it be miserable. Let's see if it work with John Wall. If not, trade him at the deadline. If I was y'all, I'll send his ass to Atlanta or something, to the Magic. I don't even care at this point because they have given that man everything he asked for, and yet he had not taken any blame really, like, from everything of coming short of being an NBA champion. All the other players that he asked for, they took the hit. Mike D'Antoni took the hit. The front office took the hit. But now you sitting here trying to force my hand and trade you somewhere you want to be to contend for a championship, man, kiss my ass, man.
How you feel about it, Sam? Him to the Sixers.
No, I don't like that. Because like Keith was saying, you have too many people who want the ball, like Embiid and Ben Simmons. You just have too many people that want the ball. Same with the Nets. You have 3 superstars. If James Harden was to go to the Nets, that's just too many superstars in one team who want the ball.
If they gonna play with 2 basketballs at work, I don't think the league's gonna let that happen.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Me being the antagonist that I am, I did not agree. Now I'll tell you why.
I just don't want to see you Lakers.
Listen, now I'll tell you why. It ain't got nothing to do with the
It
Lakers.
do. It really
Listen,
do, bro. It do. It's
all right. First of all, if you trade Harden to the Sixers, 9 times they already said they don't want no Embiid, they want Ben Simmons. So the reason why it works with Joel Embiid is because I feel like y'all are going off of the 4 years that he was playing with a non-shooting guard in Ben Simmons. He's playing with one of the best shooters in the league. He's going to be playing with probably the second or third best ball handler in the league. So now you're going to see a whole different Embiid. You're going to see more pick and rolls. You're going to see Embiid less on the 3-point line. Because the only reason why he's out there now is because Ben don't. So it'll be a whole different game. And let's just hypothetically say they want Embiid, right? All they got to do is play faster. Because Ben wants to run. Harden don't have a problem running. And y'all do that same thing with Harden too. I feel like I'm going to talk about that later on. But y'all looking at Harden the way he's been playing these last 5 years under Mike D'Antoni. That's one coach that let him play isolation ball. We seen Harden play another brand of basketball in Oklahoma City where he was literally the best guard on the team. Point guard. He was the best point guard on the team.
How do you become the best point guard on the team if they trade Embiid and not Ben Simmons?
Because Ben Simmons will put Ben Simmons in the post. There's no room for Ben Simmons to go in the post right now because, last year, because 3 out of the 5 people on the starting 5 needed to be in the post. So you got rid of Horford. In that trade, you would get rid of Embiid. So your big man, your small ball 5 would be Ben Simmons. And you'll have one of the best guards, the best 2 guard in my eyes, in the league on your team. Like, either way, you just going to have to switch the game up. But you can't pigeonhole James Harden, or any player for that matter. But you can't pigeonhole James Harden to just isolation ball. That's what
made him James Harden a reigning MVP.
He would have been great in any system, but it just so happened that he played with Mike D'Antoni. Mike D'Antoni, same thing in New York. He went to New York and Melo was doing what? ISO ball. When he had a complete team in Phoenix, what did they do? They ran up and down. So it's all about personnel. So how much you want to bet? It's not going to be a whole lot of isolation ball in in Brooklyn. But they're going to have a full team around both of them.
Sure about that?
Yes.
If Harden on the team, you think it's not going to be a lot of ice?
Who knows? Honestly, I don't like that. I don't even like them 3 together. I can understand it, but I don't like it. I would rather see him in Philly, for me, next to Embiid. Because we already know Embiid not going to play a full 82. Harden is one of the most durable players in the league. So those games where Embiid is not in, Harden will be there. And we've seen Harden lead his team to the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 5th best record, in the harder Western Conference. So imagine what he'll do in the East. Now, what he said about Milwaukee,
it makes sense.
It makes sense.
It makes sense for both of them. They need each other.
But I feel like that's him playing ISO ball.
I don't think so. He'll be the point guard.
He was the point guard?
He'll be the point. But hopefully they don't have to give up Drew Holiday. I'll trade Chris Middleton. I'll trade Chris Middleton. He'll be the career best guard on the league.
I wouldn't trade Middleton.
They didn't give up everything they could to get Drew Holiday. All the picks and stuff like that.
I'll try to do something, finesse something.
You talking about trading for former MVP or the 8-time All-Star, the leader leading scoring 3 times in a row. you gotta I need your franchise in there for the next 5 years.
Yeah, they already said they said that they want a young future star. They don't want so the only person that fit that bill is Ben Simmons. You know what I mean? And I see the Sixers, if they could get a Harden, I can definitely see the Sixers in the conference finals. I don't know if they'll win,
Still challenge Brooklyn.
but I can definitely see them in the conference
Because
finals.
Brooklyn, it kills me by everybody just Brooklyn coming out the East. Just because Kyrie fit next to LeBron James doesn't mean he's going to fit next to Kevin Durant. Just because Kevin Durant fit next to Golden State in that backcourt, who was very unselfish, and Draymond was mainly the main ball handler, but at times, you know, it was easy to work in Golden State because your 3 best players could shoot the basketball, catch and shoot, and Klay is the best catch and shoot star shooting guard is in the league. To me, I'll take him in the draft before James Harden. It's just my preference. But I don't see the Steve Nash first time coaching, and you got to coach Kyrie Irving, who already getting fined because he said he's not speaking to the media this year. He already causing problems. He already said in the summer players don't need a coach. Then you got Mike D'Antoni. It should just be Mike Tony because he don't coach defense. He gonna coach the offense. They brought in a Mark Stoudemire, so I'm guessing y'all gonna play 7 seconds or less over there in Brooklyn.
Maybe.
But is that smart with Kevin Durant coming off an Achilles injury? I don't think that's too smart. He's the best player on the team, so why you gotta manage? You gotta slowly gravitate to playing 7 seconds or less with Kevin Durant.
That's cool, but at the end they'll still be playing 7 seconds or less.
That's still kind of bad because your second best player on the team, he barely played 60 games a year. So it's just like man, listen, man, y'all want to pick Brooklyn to come out the East, so be it. I like the Sixers' chances to knock them off. From a talent-wise, Brooklyn looks very good on paper. But we haven't seen Kevin Durant in 2 years. Not saying his game going to change. We know what Kyrie brings to the table. They got 2 bigs. They got some really good role players that come off their bench. One start, Karis LeVert. But it's a lot of question marks there. And I don't think a lot of the audience, the outside audience, looking at their roster is like found a clear-cut answer to them question marks. There's a lot of them there.
So Sam, who do you got coming out of the East this year?
I got the Nets.
Got the Nets.
Yeah, Brooklyn Nets.
Who you got coming out the West?
I don't know yet. Yeah, I don't know yet.
Why you say that?
I just don't know.
I think it's tough like that.
Yeah.
You do?
I do.
I think the West got a lot easier this year, I'm be honest with you. Because Denver traded away their best wing defender. Well, Jeremy Grant, he didn't sound bad. I don't know what going to Detroit. I don't know what that was about.
Money.
He could have got more in Denver, though. Portland, healthy. Portland is very dangerous. The other LA team, I gotta give, they got better, I guess, with the Ibaka pickup, but they don't have a clear-cut guard that can run the offense and stuff like that. I'm not high on Paul George in the playoffs, especially games where that matters, so whatever the case may be. Who else is over there was? I'm mad at the Golden State situation because Klay is hurt and out for the season. I was looking forward to that. To me, I thought they was the biggest threat to my Lakers of going back to the finals and hopefully repeating that championship. Outside of them, Utah gonna be a good team. Dallas, if Porzingis is going to play all season, then you got a different story over there in Dallas. They got arguably a top 5, top 10 best player in the league, Luka Doncic, who I love. Hopefully one day when that contract up, you can come on over to Staples, purple and gold. But I'm wrong with my Lakers, regardless. I don't expect Brown to play a lot of games. And this year, I don't think he really needs to. I think we got enough offensive power, especially with AD missed some games. We got a little older at the 5 position, but, it'll work out. But, I don't know. The rest of the teams in the West is just like, I'm not, San Antonio's done. Also, Pelicans probably make the playoffs now. Suns will make the playoffs. They got one of the best leaders in the NBA, so I mean, I don't know. It could be. I think this year it's going to be Kevin Durant versus LeBron James. And I guess y'all could say it'd be an even playing field this time around. Because it's not LeBron and Kyrie versus Steph, Clay, and Kevin Durant. So, I mean. What?
Even playing for who?
For Bron.
Brian coming in with the best team. There's never going to be an even playing field between them two. Because one of them always going to come into it with a better team.
I think it's
It's not even.
It's even now. It's even now because I don't. The team don't got to worry about guarding the two greatest shooting backcourt all the time and Kevin Durant. And an offense that moves the ball so
That's
well.
even against Golden State. We talking about the Lakers versus Brooklyn. How is that matchup even?
That's Lakers in 5.
I'm not just saying that. Like, this bull. All right, man. All right, whatever. So you got the Lakers. I mean, you don't know about the West.
Somebody may make a move. I think Houston might actually sneak in the playoffs. All of them boogies look good this preseason so far.
And you said Brooklyn.
I
You said Brooklyn and the Lakers.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that Brooklyn pick. I gotta see how it play out. I gotta see how it play out.
Man, the Knicks versus the Lakers, man. Book it. It's like, no.
That would be crazy. The Knicks come out to eat. That's crazy.
No, I don't trust the Celtics.
No, I don't care. The Celtics
I don't
ain't
trust the
getting no
Celtics. I feel like they are like allergic to prosperity. They're getting to the spot where they got to get to, and they don't never get over the hump.
That's
They for sure could beat the Sixers for some odd reason. They got the Sixers.
I think that's over and done with now, though.
But yeah, the Sixers is better.
That's over and done with now.
I gotta see. I would like to pick the Sixers, but I just want to see what Embiid look like. He looked like he slimmed down, but that don't always mean you in basketball shape.
True.
So we gotta see what that look like.
You gotta see what Doc run.
I think the Heat, that was an aberration last year. They're not making it to the finals. They can easily beat, because like I said, everybody in the East.
Butler just told Rachel Nichols, "Do you want to win or do you want to go home?"
Listen, if you really think, in a regular situation,
Jimmy Butler day, man.
You think in a regular situation that the Heat, led by Jimmy Butler, is going to a championship again?
It's the Eastern Conference, man. Ain't nobody had Miami on their radar last year? They beat the Bucks.
Anything was possible, bro.
You right about that?
Anything, especially in that situation, the bubble, anything was possible.
Well, they still in a bubble. They just playing in their stadiums. Ain't no fans.
But it's
some basketball and some music.
It's different.
That's it. They in their stadium. They get to go home. That's the only difference.
That's a big difference.
Ain't no big difference.
Yes, it is.
You
get your routine.
Fair,
one thing I do agree with Paul George is the difference outside the bubble is, and we can talk about that too. Let's get into that. All right, so
that's y'all guy.
Last week, Paul George had an interview on the All the Smoke podcast.
That's Matt Barnes.
That's one of the podcasts we do show love to because we actually like them. And he said a lot of things. You know, Paul George has been saying a lot of crazy stuff over these past couple years.
That's your guy.
That's Michael Wilson. That's your guy.
That's your guy, buddy.
But one of the things that he talked about was he felt like Doc Rivers didn't use him correctly. He said, and we quote, that he felt like he used them like Ray Allen and J.J. Redick, using a lot of pin downs, which was not the case because they pulled up the numbers. Last year, Paul George used the most pick and rolls in his entire career. So that was a lie. And then he said that he felt like Doc Rivers didn't make the adjustments that they needed to make after they lost their 3-1 lead. So, first, how do you feel about Paul George?
I like Paul George. He's
not top 10 though.
Yeah, no. I think he's a little.
He wasn't top 10 coming in the last season.
No, he wasn't. 2 years ago, he was.
I just was saying that. Yeah, he's not top 10. I feel like he's starting to get washed up a little bit. Yeah, that's my thought.
Listen, man, I'm the James Harden hater.
No, you hate James Harden.
I don't hate James Harden. I just speak facts.
You hate James Harden.
He's just not who y'all think. He's a great scorer, nothing else. He's not a great leader. He's not. His defense improved last season surprisingly, but you had to because y'all had no big to protect y'all.
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that for the rankings, bro. We're gonna say that.
Listen, man. Paul George. I wanted to be I want to be in Indiana forever. Asks for the trade, goes to OKC, signs back with Oklahoma, tells the world we here to run it back. A year after that, the Dame sits y'all home. He's backdooring Westbrook, asking to be traded to the Clippers because Kawhi was calling everybody, and they all told him no. That means Kevin Durant he told him no. Jimmy Butler told him no. Who else was a free agent that year? Who else was a free agent that year? That was a big name. Well, a few big names. They all told Kawhi Leonard no.
I don't remember that.
Clippers. Stephen A. reported it. So, but hey, Paul George, you got your money, man. $195 million. What, 5-year extension? Making more than Anthony Davis. You know, hey, if Paul George is worth it, that's the Clippers. You gotta go ahead and pay that man. Now, that'd be sad. It'd be funny to me if Kawhi Leonard doesn't sign an extension at the end of this summer and decides to take his talent somewhere else after this, depending on how this play out. I guess the Clippers is looking at it, well, we can't lose both of them for no reason. So, depending on how this season go this year. So let's sign Paul George. He'll at least bring in some ticket sales because they move into a new stadium in a year, I think, something like that. I'd be glad when I get out of Staples. God damn, y'all been there long enough. But oh man, that's I think he stole money because that money, okay, is based off what you do during the regular season and your past, what you done before you even got there. Rightfully so, but most of that money is what you do for me. What have you done for me now, lately? And the last time we seen Paul George, he's hitting both sides of the backboard. So it's like, I mean, y'all wanna listen, man. If I could make $195 million after I just played 2 or 3 of the worst career games of my life in the playoffs when it mattered most, hitting side of the backboard, I need to go work on my game right now. $195 million.
Man, listen, man.
I can hit it. What side of the backboard y'all want me to hit? I hit all sides. So
I think we overrate Paul George. I feel like
no, brother. You was calling him a superstar
because he was 2 years ago. That year he finished third in the MVP. The year he called his MVP season, which was crazy. Never won an MVP. But anyway, that year he was for sure a top 10 player. He was better than Westbrook. He was the best player on that Oklahoma City team. But my thing with Paul George is I feel like, of course, the leg injury that I think derailed his career. Because I feel like right now he should be a top 5 player in the world. But yes, bro, his trajectory when he was in Indiana before he broke his leg, bro, he was literally going to be it.
He wouldn't have been top 5.
Bro, you're tripping, bro.
Wouldn't have been top 5.
I'm gonna stop talking to you about basketball before 2013 because what you said about Russell Westbrook and D Rose. But you said that Russell Westbrook was better than D Rose, which was crazy.
Talking about MVP Rose?
Yes.
To MVP Russ?
No, you said that at that same time.
Their numbers were the same.
Bro, he was not better than Derrick Rose, bro.
Their numbers were the same.
He was not better than Derrick Rose.
He won MVP because y'all had the best record in the East. And y'all was
but he was not better than
number
Derrick
1
Rose.
ranked defense.
He was not better than Derrick Rose. But that's going off topic. Anyway,
the same
I feel like Paul George gets the money that he gets and everything that he get strictly off of defense. He is a top 5 defender.
How much defense was he playing? Jamal Murray is giving him...
Bro, listen, we not signing the check. Talk to Steve Ballmer about that. But you can't deny the fact he is a top 5 on-ball defender. So you got to give it to him. Now, what he do on offense, it's a night-on-night basis. And I think a lot of times Paul George comes with a lot of excuses. If you watch that All the Smoke podcast, it was... I didn't have enough time in the summer. I was just coming off a shoulder injury. Blah, blah, blah. It's all these excuses when you could have easily sat out just like your teammate was doing. And he don't got no excuse either because he was stinking up the joint in game 6 or 7 too, just like you was. So what's his excuse? Like at the end of the day, Paul George has a lot of excuses. Some of them is warranted because I really do feel like that leg injury just took everything where he was going and took it off. So, I like Paul George. I don't love Paul George. I feel like if he is your third best player on your team, then you probably are in good shape. But what the Clippers is right now, he your second best player. I can't see them. I can't see them.
Arguably second best player last year because Montrezl and Lou Will was 20 a night off the bench consistently.
And look where they got you.
They challenged both of them.
Neither one of them could be your second best player.
Yeah, we understand that. We understand that, but I put some of that on Doc because there's no way in hell you had these two guys come into a culture that's built off playing hard and playing every night and practicing every day. Right? Oh yeah, y'all wanted Kawhi Leonard. All right, so y'all gonna give Kawhi what he want, so he can play for y'all team. I understand that, but at the end of the day, it's either you want to play for this franchise or not. Because honestly, I would have told Kawhi you could go back to Toronto. Our culture.
He wasn't going to go back to Toronto. He was going to the Lakers.
And I highly doubt that he would have been a low manager. I'm sorry. I don't see if Kawhi would have signed. I don't see him missing games. I don't see that because one, he wouldn't have been the best player on the team. He would have been arguably the second best player on the team. Honestly, he wouldn't have missed no games because the Clippers built Pat Bev, Lou Will, and them. Montrezl built culture on playing hard, working out every day, practicing every day, playing hard every day. Paul George come in there, two shoulder surgeries. I just understand that we need your time, but once you're 100%. You gotta practice with your team. It's a whole new team. And then the Clippers was just bringing in players, trying to incorporate them. They had one run on there, it was like 10-0 till they ran into us and we smacked them inside the head, taught them a lesson. Like, you can't, I bet you Kawhi don't low manage this year. And if you do, it's not gonna work in their favor again. It's not. You can't not play when it's a new team. Like you just can't. When you come into something new, you gotta be. Especially when, matter of fact, I came into a team that took Golden State to 6 games, which should have been a sweat. But whatever, they took Golden State, a healthy Golden State with Kevin Durant, took 6 games in the first round. And you think y'all gonna come in there? I'll play when I feel like it. We gonna leave when Kawhi get here. He gonna live in San Diego, a little bit farther from the stadium. Like, come on, man, that's nonsense. Paul George gave a lot of excuses. And he didn't take no blame for anything in that interview at all. But you got your money, brother. Congratulations. I mean, you got your money. I ain't never mad at a brother getting his money.
We never gonna discourage anybody.
Get your money, brother. Get your money, brother. Cause they ain't giving it to us. They gave you your money, brother.
That man,
I'm about to go hit the side of the back.
I don't know what. Like I said, he brings a service to you as a team. There's not a lot of people that can.
Agreed.
So it's like that's what gets him the money that he gets all the time. That's what gets him the recognition that he gets all the time. I don't like. He's one of 5 players in the NBA with their own signature shoe. Nike seen it. We all saw it, but it's like, where is it? Like, we don't know where it's at no more. So we just hopefully, Paul George, you got your off season. We want to see you stop talking, and we want to see you bring it. Because you in a situation, this is the better situation than what you was in Indiana. Because in Indiana, you had no shot of beating Miami. At this time, you were supposed to be the thing that was supposed to take the Clippers over the hump and beat the Lakers.
They still not enough to beat the Lakers.
So, and I don't got y'all beating the Lakers. I don't got the Clippers beating the Lakers. I think the Lakers coming out. I think if I had to bet my money, it probably would be Brooklyn.
Y'all feel LeBron again.
Probably would be Brooklyn.
Y'all fuel LeBron to. Y'all fueled him. His fuel this year to prove y'all wrong is calling the championship a flake, an asterisk. Also disrespecting him again by saying y'all keep saying they didn't play the Clippers. He's just said it on the interview like we was shocked. Y'all had 3-1 lead. Like we was preparing to play y'all. Like we heard all the chatter, we saw the commercial, and y'all choked it away. And honestly, I'm not too sure they better than Portland, man. Honestly, I don't, man. They ain't better than Paul George.
Yes.
CJ arguably better than Paul George.
No.
Not on the defensive end. CJ showed more offensively than Paul do most nights. And they got the bigs.
No, we not gonna sit here and say like Paul George just be stinking it up every night. He just don't do good in the playoffs.
And that's where it matters when you go to offer that man that extension.
Okay, but we can't sit here and make it seem like Paul George don't do nothing. Like,
I'm not saying he don't do nothing, but I need my star players and my best players on my team to come through in the postseason. And if you don't, I'm not paying you that money. I'm sending your ass somewhere else. I'm trading you.
So tell me though.
I can't.
So why you was giving them young boys all that money?
What young boys?
You said Brandon Ingram should have got all that
He
money.
deserved his money.
Didn't make a playoff. Never.
Is that his fault or the Pelicans' fault as a whole?
Time out. The young boys can get the money, but not Paul
Tatum
George.
deserved his money. B.I. deserves his money.
So why don't Paul George deserve the money?
From somebody that's been in the playoffs and haven't shown up, I'm not giving you all that money. I would give him $100 million. I'm not giving 195.
But Brandon Ingram never.
He had a breakout year.
So because he had a breakout year, he deserved $200 million.
They didn't give him $200 million.
What they gave him? They gave him 100 and something million.
He didn't give up all. I think I fight out like 120.
Right, but what I'm saying is you said your requirement to getting a lot of money is doing something in the playoffs, but you just gave a lot of money to a young boy who never made the playoffs.
But I'm not going to put that solely on Brandon Ingram because his team didn't make the playoffs. It's a team thing.
So why are we putting it all on PG?
Because he's been in the playoffs.
But his team.
Is it the Clippers' fault as a whole that they lost? A 3-1 lead?
Yes. It's not just Paul George.
Okay, so the next time
they didn't lose the game by 3 because he hit the backboard.
Okay,
they lost the series.
From here on out, I don't want to hear nobody blame a LeBron James led team for losing any game.
What you mean?
If he could,
you telling me like I said that?
I'm just stating the fact because to me the Clippers are not just. I'm not gonna say all the way because of coaching because their two best players did not show up
and because of coaching.
But
Doc didn't make the necessary adjustments. Paul George was right about that.
But that same coaching got you to the second round.
Barely.
Yeah, well, I mean, Porzingis got ejected for some nonsense. So
Barely. So it was the whole Clippers organization. We can't just put that all on Paul George. That's not all his fault. He didn't show up. So he takes part of the blame. But we can't just be like, oh, Paul George, you're the reason the Clippers. No.
The Clippers not solely on
as a whole. Lou Williams missing time because of lemon pepper wings. Montrezl Harrell, grandma dying. Montrezl Harrell, grandma dying.
My prayers out to him.
Like the whole Clippers team as an organization, they lost that 3-1 lead. They got it and they got fat and comfortable, like Paul George say. I will agree with him with that. They got comfortable and they ain't make no adjustments. What I disagree with him is he's not the one that needs to be saying that. Because if you talking about y'all didn't make no adjustments, what adjustments did you make? You coming out here shooting on the side of the backboard, you complaining every day in the media talking about your mental health. Well, what you there for then? You knew exactly what was going to happen when they agreed to this and they gave you an opportunity. Avery Bradley was at the crib. You could have went home.
Trevor Reeves stay home. Y'all didn't have. They gave her the opportunity.
You did not have to come
to play in a bubble.
You didn't have to come. So like, I don't want to hear nothing from Paul George. All I want to see is you come next year, and I want to see.
Well, Paul George is good in every regular season.
I want to see it in the playoffs. I agree with you. But what I disagree with you is you can't say that young boys who never made the playoffs deserve money when a dude has made the playoffs almost every single year of his career and he don't. That don't make no sense. What we paying boys for?
I mean, we talking about a lead that paid Evan Turner damn near $100 million a couple years.
Not saying that he deserved it or don't. I'm just saying if we gonna make a line, let's make a line for everybody. Right. You know what I mean?
I'll go ahead and get to your raking issue.
All right. So I don't know if you've seen this. When was this? Thursday? Oh my God.
I'm gonna read it to you. So ESPN top 10 player rankings coming into next year. LeBron 1, Anthony Davis 2, Giannis 3rd, Luka Doncic 4, Kawhi 5. 6 is Kevin Durant, 7th Dame, 8th Curry, 9th Harden, 10th Joker. How you feel about that?
I kind of like it. I do kind of like it. Top 10, I like it. Yeah,
okay.
I do.
Now, my question would be, okay, I like it too. I like the people that's in it. The place that some of the players are at, I'm not feeling, right? I'm going to tell you why. I'm cool with LeBron number 1. I'm cool with Anthony Davis number 2. My first problem is Giannis. Right? Giannis, to me, to all of us, honestly, he's a regular season guy. You cannot guard him. You don't have the time to game plan around Giannis. So every night, you don't know what to expect from Giannis. But when you get 7 games, the game plan against him, it's over. And we've seen that 3 straight playoffs. So I don't get how he's the 3rd best player in the world when he's easily stopped, right? So, this is the biggest problem I got with it. Luka Doncic at number 4. And I'm going to tell you why. If you want to put Luka above KD, strictly because KD is injured, because we know if KD was healthy, he would be at least number 2.
Same thing with Dame being over Steph Curry.
He would be over number 2, but that's injury. Cool, right? Kawhi. Come on, man. That's the best 2-way player in the game. Know what? Second best behind Anthony Davis. Because Anthony Davis is probably the best 2-way in the league. So I will put, for my 5, I will put LeBron and Dave, Kawhi, Giannis. Now, I'm taking Luka out of my 5. I'm putting James Harden as number 5. And I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah, you're going to make my argument good.
You know, people always bring up, oh, James Harden don't show up in the playoffs and this and that, this and that. But we cool with letting Giannis, who literally does not show up in the play. After the first round, Giannis is disappeared. Then we put Luka in front of James Harden. Luka only has 1 playoff appearance and he lost. He lost. So what showing up has Luka done? What? And then you be like, oh, he averaged this and that. James Harden averaged the same amount of numbers that Luka did. And then he's gonna come on. I'm gonna tell you exactly what he's gonna say.
Bro, I'm not arguing this.
He probably not. I'm gonna tell you what he said. He gonna say, "Oh, Luka, he 22. We ain't seen nobody.
He just turned 20, 21.
He 21 years old. We ain't seen nobody make an impact on the league like this since LeBron." That's not fair to James Harden because James Harden didn't have a chance to do it at 21 because he was playing with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. So how can you compare that? That's not fair to James Harden. James Harden's going to lose that argument every time. They average the same amount of points. They both are facilitators. Neither one of them play defense. They both can rebound very well as guards. I just don't get how both of them with the same skill set do the same thing. But we got somebody that's here that's been doing it for the past 6 or 7 years. We got somebody right here that only been doing it for 2. Like, I just don't get it, man. Like, the James Harden disrespect needs to end. I'm sorry. Needs to end. It's ridiculous. I know a lot of people kill him for what he do in the playoffs. I know a lot of people. I know what he was turned off real heavy with James Harden once they start saying that he was up there with Kobe. I don't agree.
No, when they put him past Dwayne Wade.
I don't agree. You know what I'm saying? But what I don't like is how we disrespect him like he's not what he is. And what he is, a top 5 shooting guard of all time.
That's arguable there.
It's not arguable.
It is arguable there.
If you want to
Michael
put
Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, Allen Iverson. You can argue Jerry West.
AI, I don't even put AI as a 2. AI is a utility player. What is he? What is AI? Is he a point?
God.
Is he a 2?
He played the 2, bro.
He played the 2, but is he a 2?
He played the 2, bro.
Like,
his career, he played the 2.
But you argue me like I don't know Allen.
Right, so how you gonna sit there and say he's not a shooting guard, bro? Because he'll tell you. So is James Harden really a shooting guard or a point guard?
James Harden he could be either one.
Call him a fucking utility player too.
He could be either one. He could be either one.
God, this is shit I was just talking about earlier. The excuses y'all make for the players that y'all like.
What excuse did I make? I said he's either one. That's no excuse for anybody. What are you talking about?
But you gonna call AI utility player?
That's what he is. He's
so
not
is
a
James Harden not a utility player then?
He's not a traditional point.
So do James Harden not fit that word?
He could be either one. He could be a utility player too. He could be a utility player too. But what I'm saying is, I'm talking about the disrespect that people don't put him where he's supposed to be.
Bro, I'm gonna tell y'all what the hell James Harden
For you to say he's not arguably a top player,
I'm quoted the James Harden hater because I call him out for not showing up in the playoffs at all.
Giannis don't either.
At all. Giannis don't even. So to put them in the same boat, they both could come out the top 5 if you want to be
Put them in the same boat. I never took Giannis out of my top 5. That's the thing.
You should then. If you're gonna, I'm gonna take both of them out my top 5 because y'all have not shown up in the postseason over y'all career. Dating James Harden back to when he did not show up off the bench in that Miami Heat series against LeBron and them in 2012. I could go that far back. Giannis has not shown up since he came onto the scene as this MVP of the league, of our league. Has not shown up at all in the postseason. His numbers go from 30-13 to 22-8. Not showing up in the postseason. Harden, he still get you your 30, 9 assists, 6 rebounds in the postseason, but he does not always make.
Pause. You just said he still gets you his 30 and
30.
whatever. So if I'm still giving you my consistent numbers that I get all year,
He averaged 30.
What are we talking about?
32 to 36 in the league, bro.
What are we talking about? Because he go down 6 points. Now all of a sudden he don't show up in the playoffs.
So is your game? He has missed game-winning shots. He has got game-winning shots blocked by Manu Ginobili. Man, they got blown up off the court in Houston without Kawhi Leonard. He wasn't 1 for 15. Bro, come on, man. Stop making excuses. He don't show up. He's not there for the moments. He played horrible in that Game 7 versus Golden State without Chris Paul in Houston.
He did.
He wasn't the reason why they came back on the Clippers from 3-1.
He wasn't.
That was because of Dwight Howard and Josh Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, bro. He's James Harden. I hope you see this. I pray to God you're a great scorer. That's it. Nothing else. That's what he is. He's a great scorer, but he does not show up when you need him to be.
You saying is he top 10?
He top 10, but he's not top 5 in the league.
Is Steph top 5 to you?
Why? He's the best point guard in the league, bro. A 2-time MVP back-to-back. Led 2 championship teams. Lost to LeBron James that 73-9 year. Yes, to LeBron James, arguably the greatest player of all time,
Steph top 10, but I know you know. I know you think Steph top 10. Is he top 5? Because this your era.
Yeah, I think he's top 5. I do think he's top 5.
He think Damian Lillard is better than Steph Curry. Damian been smacking Dame his whole career. I don't understand it, bro. The people, his era want to shoot from half court because of Steph Curry, bro. They want to be the flashy point guard that shoot half court because of Steph Curry, not because of Damian Lillard. Dame is great. Love Dame the best. I hope you come to your senses and go to a contender, which you're probably not. So be it. That's your career. Welcome to the Charles Barkley Club. That's your career, Dame. I hope you see this too. Bro, Steph, top 5 healthy is LeBron, Kevin Durant, I say Anthony Davis, Anthony Davis, Kawhi, Steph Curry. That's top 5 in the league. Then you can go Harden, Giannis, Luka, and whoever else you want to put in that top 10, bro. You gotta stop it, bro. Honestly, if James Harden is not giving you 36, what is he doing?
He's giving you 11 dimes if he wants to. Didn't he just average that? Then the year after that he averaged 8. Then the year after that he averaged 7. What are you talking about? And he don't got another top 10 player like Steph had. He don't got a top 2 shooter of all time like Steph got.
Okay, before Kevin Durant got there, they was winning games and going to the finals.
Was they not
because of
team?
who? Because Steph Curry was the best player on their championship team and leading his team to the championship. Harden has been the best player for how long in Houston and not got to the finals.
Since he got there.
So how the fuck is he top 5, bro?
So he wasn't running into a better team in Golden State.
Did they not play Golden State? Bro, did they not play Golden State before they had Kevin Durant?
They were a better team, bro.
Are you really saying to say that Harden wasn't the best player on that court?
It don't matter if you're the best player on the court. LeBron just lost to Golden State how many times? What does that matter?
He played Kevin Durant and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson.
He played them 2 times. Did he not lose to them in 2016?
How was Golden State the better team that year when he had Dwight Howard?
They were a better. First of all, Steve Kerr, is he not a better coach than Mike D'Antoni? Yes or no? Yes or no, bro?
Okay,
yes or no?
Okay, because we just see him coach without his team.
Okay, cool.
So is he really saying he's a great coach?
Cool. You just asked a question. I'm about to answer. So you said Steve Kerr is better.
I'm a better coach than Mike D'Antoni. The fuck?
Again, let me ask you the question because I'm about to prove you stupid. Number 1, you said Steph Curry is the best player or one of the best players on the floor, so he was going to be the best point guard. Me and you argue about who's the best 2 guard, but you say Klay. So what's that? 3-0 Golden State. Who's the best small forward? It was up to grabs. Draymond was better than whoever that 4 was, and the 5s was irrelevant. So Golden State was the better team. What are you talking about?
But
with or without Kevin Durant?
How were they a better team? If you sitting there saying they just came back from a 3-1 against the Clippers, who was the only team that really was giving Golden State a run for their money during that season, bro.
Yo, it's all about matchups, bro. It's about matchups. You can't sit there and look at Golden State and be like, yo, James Harden got a chance to beat them. Whether they got Kevin Durant or not, they were a better team. They won 73 games without Kevin Durant.
Okay, that's so be it. So how the hell are you put Dame Lillard over Steph Curry?
They do the same thing.
If you played the same team without Kevin Durant last season, 2 seasons ago, and got smacked in 4 games.
Listen, the same argument I just made for James Harden applies to Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard has never had a better team than Steph Curry. I don't care what you say. I don't care about a lead that they had. They were not the better team. So if I'm Steph Curry or if I'm Damian Lillard, they shooting is the same. Let's not be real. You just seen them in the bubble.
No, it's not. Steph Curry is better shooter than Dame, bro.
If you want to say he's the best shooter, I'm not going to argue with you because that boy can shoot. So I'm not even going to argue with you. But
Dame can shoot the ball.
Dame can shoot the ball. He's pulling trash every year. Every single year. He hasn't had a small forward till this year. He's not had a small forward. And we can blame it on Melo. Whatever you want to do, you can do whatever you want to do.
Bro, if anybody that lost
he don't got a backcourt mate that's like Clay, because let's be honest, Clay is better than CJ in all aspects of the game to me. Then he don't got an all-purpose Swiss Army knife power forward. He never had a top 10, 15 player of all time in Kevin Durant to play next to him. And you gonna compare teams, bro? You gonna compare outcomes of a series?
Before
they were still better, bro. He had those 2 players playing beside him, bro. They're the same player. He's doing more with less. We just seen Steph Curry at his peak performance by himself last year. What was Golden State before he got hurt? Still trash. And they were still gonna be trash. Now I don't know if they was gonna be the number 2 pick, but they definitely wasn't gonna make the playoffs. Not with no Steph by himself. But we just saw Dame drag his whole Portland team. They was 10th going into the bubble. They moved all the way up to 8th and got a game against the champions. Steph would have never did that because they would have never made that playoffs.
I don't understand how a person that led 2 championship teams, you gonna sit there and say he won and got a game.
Yes, because that team was different. This is not the same team. Like, I don't understand why you, like, what? If Dame was on that team, Dame would do the same thing. Dame would have 3 rings on his finger, just like Steph.
Sure about that?
I'm 100% positive, bro. What are you talking about?
Kyrie doing the same thing too?
No, because Kyrie is not on the level as them two. That's a whole different player, a whole different conversation. But you keep bringing up team accomplishments to make me see that somebody is better than somebody else. That don't make you better than anybody else. Patrick McCaw got 3 chips. What that mean? That don't mean he's better than anybody, bro. That's my point.
I didn't say he was.
So stop bringing up the championships.
He's not better than nobody in the league,
but you keep bringing up the championships to make somebody be somebody better than
I'm bringing
somebody
up
else.
Leadership. Steph is a better leader than Dame,
He's
bro.
dragging trash to the playoffs.
CJ McCollum trash. Dame whole team was healthy this year going into the bubble.
What, bro?
Nurkic is not a very good center.
Zach Collins, his best center, was hurt. Nurkic didn't play until the bubble. And he dragged them to the 10th seed, bro. What are you talking about?
Alright, Portland's trash. Dame's the best point guard in the league.
Say that. Say it loud and proud.
I don't believe it. He's not the best player in the league. If we gonna call Steph Curry top 5 in the league, how the fuck is Dame the best point guard?
I don't call him top 5. That's the point. That's the problem. That's
so
my
who
argument.
in your top 5, bro?
He's not.
So who in your top 5?
I say Brian and Anthony Davis is definitely there. For me personally, I don't have Giannis in my 5.
I took Giannis and Harden out my top 5.
Giannis is not in my 5. I would put Anthony Davis, LeBron James. I'm gonna put Kawhi up there. I'll put Dame is not number 4, but I'll put Dame in my 5. And then I'm
Dame not better than Luka. Dame better than Luka Doncic. And for what we've seen for the last 2 years, Dame is better than Luka.
So he's just better than the whole league. All right,
no, but Dame is Dame not better than Luka, bro.
In the podcast, bro. Thank y'all so much for tuning in.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Bro, their numbers the same.
I appreciate you.
Answer the question.
Appreciate y'all. And that, y'all.
Bro, answer the question, bro.